Hi everyone. So this is the first question where it is for solution X. So when you first look at solution X, right, you notice that the solution X is actually colorless, right? So if a solution X is colorless, okay, now what can you deduce from this? Okay, so of course this got to do with your cations, right? And if it's colorless, you know that it cannot be those color ions. So the ones that are absent will be Cu2 plus, Fe2 plus, and Fe3 plus, because these are the ones that are not present, right? Because if they are, then the solution should be colored. Then of course, then you can then shortlist what the ions that could be possible or could be present. So I can think of, NH4 plus, okay, Ca2 plus, okay, zinc 2 plus, okay, and then Pb2 plus. So these are the possible ones. Okay, then the next part, right, is that we are going to do part B and part C. So for part B and part C, just take a look, right? Because part B, you are adding sodium hydroxide until no further change, and part C, you're adding aqueous ammonia until no further change. So in these two experiments, you are introducing OH minus. Now I hope that you can actually recall that actually these two are testing for cations. Okay, so these two are testing for cation, right? Write it down so that you can remember. Okay, now then, what are the changes, or what are the things that you actually see, right? I believe that for B, right, you first get a white PPT. Okay, when you add like a few drops, you get a white PPT. Then you realize that the white PPT dissolve, right, in excess to give a colorless solution. Okay, then the same thing that you notice for aqueous ammonia is that it gives a white PPT. Same thing, it dissolves in excess, right, to give a colorless solution. Okay, now then, just based on this, right, you can actually decide which are the ions that is present already, right? So if you go back up, right, to your cation page, right, if it's a colorless for aqueous sodium hydroxide, right, as in the PPT dissolve in excess, the only two possible ones are lead-2 and zinc, right? Lead-2 and zinc. While for aqueous ammonia, right, it cannot be lead-2 because it is actually insoluble, while for zinc is actually soluble. So then you can actually shortlist. Okay, for part B, right, I can confirm more or less I have either Pb2 plus or zinc 2 plus. Then for part C, I straight away confirm it's only zinc 2 plus that is like this. So out of this, for this test from A to C, right, I really know that the cation must be zinc 2 plus, right? So that means X is zinc something. Okay, I know that X is zinc something. Right, next we look at part D. Okay, part D, the instruction asks for sodium hydroxide, aluminum foil, and warm. Now once you look at this, right, you immediately should recall, what experiment requires aluminum foil, and hopefully that reminds you, right, that this is actually a test, right, for nitrate. Okay, so we write down nitrate. Okay, now what do you expect to see, right, if let's say nitrate is there? Okay, nitrate, when you have this reaction, you actually form ammonia gas. So I hope that just now when you conduct the experiment, right, when you warm carefully, that means you just heat it for a while, not boiling, right, you will notice that you can smell something, right? So actually the first point that you should mention is that a pungent gas is produced, right? Because you can smell it. Now, secondly, if you see any gas, if you smell any gas or you can see bubbles forming, is for you to go ahead and test. Because if you look at the instruction at the top, it says this: you should test any gas evolved. So if you suspect that any gas is being formed, you must test for it. So if you go ahead and test the gas and then you can guess that it is ammonia gas, then you should be using your red litmus paper. So what you will see is that the damp red litmus paper turns blue. Okay, now this is very important. Even though the question did not specify, right, using litmus paper. Okay, it is important for you to note that, oh, this test for nitrate, and nitrate produce ammonia, and ammonia I must use red litmus paper, right? They will not tell you exactly what to do when it comes to gases. So if you suspect a gas is produced, you must test for it yourself. Okay, so for this I know that, okay, ammonia gas is produced, and because ammonia gas is produced, I can confirm that nitrate is present, right? So as for that, I know that X is actually zinc nitrate. Okay, can? Okay, that's all for question 1. So please stay tuned for question 2, 3 and 4. Thank you.